Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
And an MBA.
Where do we start? Uh,
Tariffs. Mr.
oh my
Trump
God.
crashed the market and then he reversed it and then he continued the trade war with China, 134%. China spitting back. Markets are up, down, up, down. I'm gaining or losing a lot of money every second. What do you guys think about this? Is just like too much volatility. My heart's gonna explode.
I don't even know where to start. Where do we start? Did you see? I showed you the video of China trolling America. I just want to talk about so he's saying he's doing this to bring jobs back, and then the Commerce Secretary goes on, and I'll quote what he says about the jobs bringing back. There are the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing little screws to make iPhones. That's the kind of thing that's going to come back to America. So that's what the tariffs are for. So we can employ Americans to screw. Scott Bessent, who the Treasury Department says access to cheap goods is not the essence of the American dream. So on the front end, the messaging is horrible. They're saying we're doing these tariffs, causing turmoil so unemployed Americans can go into the coal mines, can screw little things in, and they don't need to buy cheap goods. And if that's the reason, that's why people are freaking out on the market. It's like, that can't be the reason because the video was funny. Like people had sewing machines in middle, like we talked about Lululemon pants, like Idaho.
I think it
How
showed
is
your typical Walmart person doing, the kind of sweatshop labor you would expect someone in Southeast Asia to be doing, right? Stereotypically.
Yeah. And I think you brought it up about that kind of tacit agreement that China was going to take all these low income jobs back way back in the 80s, 90s as an agreement to America because Americans didn't want to do it. And then there was
Yeah.
like this. So tariffs. Oh,
Tariffs.
Olena.
What I think about it, about employees, and we did some homework when we was in our Boston Questrom School, MBA degree. We need to calculate where is cheaper to build a new factory where, or maybe to request some supplier help from China, for instance. And we understood it's not efficient to employee from US. The salary is huge, and no more immigrants and everyone. So I don't think that's a typical American citizen said, "Oh, I'm happy to, $2 per hour or how much." So definitely it will be in the price, and the customer will pay for this, not a business. And moreover, as I see the last news I sent you recently, like 10 minutes ago, roll back tariffs for computers, chips, microsystems, so everything's like, okay, every tariff is high, but computers, no. This industry, just don't do it, because it's a huge part of everything in the US, especially his closest friends. I mean, Trump's friends.
Yeah, that's new news just recently that he's gonna exempt the chip makers and what was it, the mobile phone and Apple and the electronics makers.
Phones, computer chips
Yeah.
stems from new tariffs.
I mean, I think he showed strength and courage backing down. Like he reassessed, he checked his ego, he listened to people around him, and he said, I'll back down. And it's not great that he made that error in the first place. But at least he made up for it. At least he didn't just roll with the tariffs when the whole country was out protesting in the street and the whole world had this dark gloom cloud over it. At least, maybe now everyone will love him again. Who knows? Love him or hate him, you sure have to talk about Trump. And I'll throw to it, but the volatility index I shared with you guys that we're at volatility levels. It looks like basically a long slow decline since COVID, since 2020, and then it just climbs up a hill immediately from this announcement, and that's definitely from the tariffs. So when the volatility spikes, what that means is that the markets are moving up or down at faster rates. So if you normally saw on a typical day a 1 or 2% change in the market, now you're seeing 5, 10, 15% moves in certain stocks and positions. And what that does is, to your point, Elena, is it threatens the certainty of like supply chains, of prices of inputs and commodities and so forth, of labor, when things are fluctuating so wildly, companies don't know, am I going to have to pay, $1,000 for that bag of rice or bag of whatever, potatoes to make the fries at McDonald's? Or am I going to pay $2,000 for that bag of potatoes? That's the kind of real world impact these tariffs have, things like that.
Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.